than anyone.
I mean, this is like Shark Week now. And you know what Baker Mayfield is? He's chum. Look at these sharks. You think you're getting away from those 4 angry sharks? It's Shark Week. It's time to eat. Make the read. Urgency. That's the name of the game right here. Urgency. Now, on it. He's on it. Touchdown. Beautiful throw.
He's our 95.7 The Game NFL insider, Brian Baldinger.
I don't know if he's still in Stark Vegas. We're going to call him Mississippi State in Memphis. I don't know if he's in a swimming pool that he was in 30 minutes ago. I have no idea where Brian Baldinger is, but he's on the roast right now, breaking down week 1 of the NFL season. And we got a little taste, a little sampler platter, Baldy, of college football last weekend. And it was awesome. Ohio State, Notre Dame. Yeah, Georgia beating the hell out of Oregon. The Dogs look good. Mississippi State with the Cowbells going crazy. Yeah, Florida State, LSU. But now we get the big boys, Baldy. We get the Bears and Niners for week 1 of the NFL season. And we want to get to know the Chicago Bears a little bit. But how you doing? How's Stark Vegas, Baldy?
Well, it was awesome, except for the 2.5-hour rain delay. Where I basically had to do what you guys are doing right now, hold a talk show, and fill 2.5 hours. But the good thing is, it just felt like football, just down on the field. I was talking to the offensive line coach of Mississippi State. He put Charles Cross into the league last year. He put Abe Lucas into the league from Washington State. Talking to Mike Leach, telling me that he has a dream about calling a game with no playbook. Just run plays. Well, I go, well, why? He goes, well, then the defense wouldn't have anything to key on. Just picking the brains of some smart guys. I mean, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was great. I mean, we had all the games up on the TVs while we were in rain delay or thunderstorm delay, whatever it was. But it was good, man. It just you're down there in the humidity.
Yeah.
And you could just smell the grass. You smell it was just the cowbells, the whole thing. It was
Do you taste the grass, Baldy? Because I like to taste the grass. Not just smell the grass, but that grass is manicured so well at the start of the season. I like to taste it, Baldy. Strasky thinks I'm a sicko. I like to taste it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't want to taste it because then I'm on my face, and that's not a good place to play football. But I mean, you could take your putter out there. You could have some real good putting going on. It was that nice.
Well, I'm in on that. Baldy, let's get right to it. Let's get to brass tacks here. Trey Lance, we're kind of just talking about what to expect for this year and things that we want him to avoid. The turnovers, obviously, and lots of sacks. And Bonte also wants him to be aggressive, and it feels at times those two things can maybe contradict each other. Where are you at with Trey Lance heading into the year after seeing what you've seen from him in the preseason?
You know what I think the best thing for Trey is? And it's just, can he line up 17 straight weeks in a row? We know Jimmy is there. If he's lining up 17 weeks in a row, A, he's healthy, and B, he's playing good enough to hold off Jimmy. Like that would be a success. Now, whatever numbers those are, Joe, I don't know. But, they're going to, if that happens, that means the 49ers are playoff bound. They're double-digit in wins. And you would think that the turnovers, which I don't mind necessarily from a young guy because I want him to stay aggressive, and I don't want him to shy away from making throws. Whether it's contested throws in the middle of the field or jump balls in the end zone to Debo or to Kittle. Like, I don't mind those. You don't want 15 of those like that, but I don't mind the turnovers so much. I think that's the goal. Line up for 17 weeks and just with the naked eye, forget about all the statistics that are out there. Just see an improving player.
Was there anything that you saw in the preseason, though it was limited, that maybe you felt encouraged with or discouraged with when you're watching the Trey Lance film?
Well, there are times when he gets into a rhythm and he makes throws, not just one throw, but a series of throws where you go, that's why they drafted him. Like, it's just a fastball. The ball comes out hot. He steps into the throw. It's an accurate stick throw. And it was like the second half of, the game against Houston a year ago. Down there in the second start, you saw the second half was a lot better than the first half. And you could tell when he steps into his throws and like he sees, he knows what he's looking at, and he can just deliver the ball. And you go, that's a good fastball. That's what his backup really can't do. And it's one of the reasons why you like it. Now, does he take off too soon, Joe? Sometimes, yeah, he does. Now, sometimes it leads to a good play, and sometimes it leads to a throw that if he had just waited another tick, waited and trusted the protection and trusted the route that it was going to come open. And that's sort of the battle that a lot of these young guys have right now.
No doubt about that. Brian Baldinger on the Morning Roast every single Tuesday, 7:30 throughout the football season. We love having Baldy on the roast here on 95.7 The Game. Looking on the other side, Justin Fields, another second-year quarterback. He was able to get a lot of reps last season. Now, he got sacked. Shasky had the numbers, sacked 36 times. But I thought he's put together some good tape against the Niners last year, the Monday night game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Where's Justin Fields at, and how can we expect the Bears to attack the 49ers defense? Because this is a defense that's probably going to be top 5 in the league.
Well, I said last week after watching his final preseason game that for the first time in forever, the Bears look like they have both a coach and a quarterback. And it's been a long time since you could say that. Like the precision that this passing game has is what it's needed. And so forget about, who the players are in Chicago that he's throwing to right now. It could be his tight end. It could be Darnell Mooney. It looked like it had precision to it. And he looked like he was in tune with that. You only get that by just having a ton of reps. Off-season, preseason, training camp. He looked a lot different. They looked well coached. They looked like, they got a rookie left tackle. He looks pretty good. They look like they have an offensive line right now. Now, they haven't seen Nick Bosa. The rookie hasn't seen, that coming at him.
Right.
So we'll see just how it looks when he gets an elite defensive front coming after him. So, but he did look improved. He did look like he actually had patience to stay in the pocket and deliver the ball. You referenced last year, Bonte, his game against Pittsburgh was awesome.
Yep.
You just go, that's real talent. Mm-hmm. Touchdown throw to Mooney, going to his left. I mean, I can still see it. Like they look like, they've got a real talent to work with.
So after seeing both quarterbacks, and we're going to do this with every draft class, we still do it with Elway Marino. We still do this stuff. After what you've seen, should the Niners have gone maybe the Justin Fields route instead of Trey Lance, because Justin Fields was a little bit more seasoned after playing at Georgia and Ohio State?
Well, I mean, I was a fan of Justin Fields, and I thought he was worthy of the 49ers taking him. I wanted them to take him. But with what they did, what would they have done? Would they have played Justin Fields last year?
Yeah.
Would they have played Jimmy? Would the push to put I don't know where that would be at this point. You can't, redo history. It is, we're going to compare them throughout.
Yeah. All these
throughout
quarterbacks.
their careers. All 5 of those guys. Mac Jones. I was a fan of Mac Jones. So I like that class. But I like Malik Willis, too.
Right.
I like quarterbacks.
Hey, Baldy, we know you
I
love
like
Willis.
watching quarterbacks to, develop.
Yeah. Baldy, I'm looking at the 49ers offense because you're talking about the lack of playmakers for the Bears, right? And Deebo Samuel had just such a monster year last year. Is that something he can replicate? Not necessarily the 1,400 yards and all the touchdowns running the ball, but just being so dynamic. Is that something he can carry over from last year into this year?
Well, I don't think we're going to see him carry the ball, 80 times, counting the postseason like he did a year ago. I mean, that was just a heavy workload the second half of the season. And it was out of necessity. You look at the running back room right now, it's young, but they're 4 deep with guys that have every skill you want, speed, size, power. I mean, to me, it looks like there isn't a need. Outside of an occasional fly sweep, line him up there for effect. Is he going to run it? Is he going to throw it? So, but, he was great after the catch last year, the way Kittle was 3 years ago. All that is a function of the offense, and it's a function of accuracy by the quarterback. Like those yards after the catch, we hope they're still there, because that means you're getting the ball on the fly. And we've seen him, he's just a different beast when he catches the ball on the run. He looks like nobody is going to tackle him. He's just going to run through every gauntlet that might be thrown in front of him. And that's kind of when Deebo's at his best. So, Joe, can he duplicate that? I don't think he'd put up 1,800 yards. But I don't think he has to if the ball gets spread around. But the yards after the catch, I'd like to see, that kind of performance again this year.
Yeah, I think he's going to open up so much for Kittle and Brandon Ayuk this season because so much focus will be on number 19, Deebo Samuel. But how do you attack this Bears defense? Who is this Bears defense? There's no Mike Singletary. There's no Richard Dent. But they still have Roquan Smith. Still got Robert Quinn and the safety and Eddie Jackson. So how do the Niners, what's the best plan of attack against this Bears defense and what Matt Eberflus, the first-year coach for the Bears, is going to do or try to do against this Niners offense?
Well, the first thing you have to know about Matt Eberflus is this defense will play as hard as any defense in football. You watch Indianapolis play over the last 3 or 4 years, they get to the ball. I mean, they're going to get 9 or 10 guys to the ball every play. I don't care where the ball ends up. So you're going to see the effort from them. Now, you're going to see 2 rookies starting in the secondary. You're going to see Jaquan Brisker out of Penn State. You're going to see the number 1 corner, Kyler Gordon out of Washington. You're going to see 2 rookies out there.
Wow.
Rookies can make mistakes, especially opening day. They're going to see an offense that when it's cooking, it's just a symphony, and it's hard to know to be in the right place all the time.
Right.
So, but what you have to do in this business, and the 49ers are in it now too. Like, you have to play these rookies, and you have to live with it. You have to live with mistakes. They might cost you early, but they're going to win games for you late. And you just have to be ready to accept it. It's the salary cap. It's depth. It's all these things. Like, you can't afford to redshirt all these guys now.
Right.
Drake is going to play on Sunday for the 49ers.
Yep.
He has to. They need him to play. So, you're going to see Womack. He's going to play. But that's where the Bears are at right now. They're going to play a lot of young players. And, the 49ers know who they are. They know what their numbers are. We'll see how they respond.
Yeah, we were referencing Justin Fields earlier and how many times he got hit. 36 sacks last year. Their number 1 sack guy for the 49ers, Nick Bosa, who we haven't talked about enough. This guy had 15 and a half sacks last year. It's the 5th most in a single season for the 49ers in their history. What are realistic expectations sack-wise for this guy, Baldy? I love him. Is 20 too aggressive?
No, because, last year at this time, Joe, he was still coming back from an ACL. And look, nobody, he's literally quadzilla. Like, those quads, it just takes time. Like, nobody has legs like that, unless you're a speed skater, unless you're like some world-class hockey player. Nobody has legs like that. This is the second year after that. 20 is the number, Joe. 20 is the number.
Wow.
Because of his effort, how hard he plays. I think Javon Kinlaw can really help him if Kinlaw is what I think he can be. Like, the twist stunts, the games that they play, the way that I think they'll rotate them to keep them fresh for the moments in the game where you just got to take the game over. Like, I think they have enough depth that they could take them off the field in the second quarter, certain series of the game. You take them off so that in the fourth quarter, like in the playoff game up in Green Bay, he could take down, the MVP twice in the fourth quarter. So I just think 20 is the number. 20 is not unreasonable at all because of how, teams are going to throw the ball 650 times against the 49ers. That's a whole lot of chances to get after the quarterback.
Wow. Not to mention all the holding calls, he made calls on opposing offenses as well. How's it going to help Drake Jackson? You mentioned Drake Jackson is a rookie who's going to play. What is a realistic expectation for him? Because we know D4 has been hurt over the past few years, Baldy, and I think having another edge like Drake Jackson or having Nick Bosa there is going to help that other edge, whether it's Drake Jackson or Kerry Hyder Jr. But what's a realistic expectation for Drake Jackson this season?
Well, I think it takes guys a year to really figure it out. Drake was outside linebacker, defensive end. He was 275. He was 250. I mean, he was up and down at USC. So now he's got his role. He knows what he's doing. He's being coached by arguably the best defensive line coach in football. The talent is there. His ankles bend like Gumby. It's ridiculous watching the skill. But that being said, I think 8 is a good number if you're just looking for a sack number. But I think the fact that Eric Armstead is inside, he can play from inside. He can push from the inside. Quarterbacks are going to get chased if he's on the field with Nick, with Eric. If he's on the field with that group, like the first hockey, line, he's going to get a lot of opportunities where quarterbacks are going to get flushed.
If you had to pick a breakout player for the 49ers, who would it be? Would it be Ayuk? Would it be Elijah Mitchell? Would it be Mooney Ward, Charvarius Ward? Who would that player be, Baldy?
I think it's going to be Javon Kinlaw. We've seen so little of him because of the injuries, but the talent is still there. He's still young.
Yep.
He looks healthy. Like, it's just time. Like, they gave up a perennial Pro Bowl player to draft him. You know, they can only pay so many guys. DeForest is a great player, a great person. Like, you made that decision, okay? It's time for him to step up. Like, I expect him, with his size, his ability to run, his power, it's time for him to break out.
Baldy, when you look at this 49er team, we're all optimistic. We're all super excited. But what could be the Achilles heel for this team? Offensive line, secondary, quarterback play? If you were to predict right now, if they were to have a bad year, what would be the downfall?
Well, I think any team that's starting 3 new players on the interior of their offensive line is just, you're just kind of holding your breath. Aaron Banks, I don't know how many plays he played last year. He didn't play. Brendel, Burford. You got 3 new guys that got to figure this out. This offense is not, it's not a playbook. It is a matter of learning the nuances of it. And it's difficult. It takes a lot of reps, a lot of practice to really get in rhythm, because that's what it is. It's a dance. It's a rhythm with the backs, with the quarterback, with the play action. Like, I would say that to me looks awfully young for this team. And that's the area that concerns me. And I'm sure John Lynch and Kyle are probably going, well, we've coached him up. We drafted him. We believe in him. Fine. Okay, great. Now they got to go do it. And I just know from the days of Alex Gibbs teaching this offense 25 years ago in Denver, how hard you got to coach these guys to get it right. And there's just not enough practice time to get it right. Mike McDaniel's trying to figure that out down in Miami right now. Kyle's got to figure that out now. So that's the area of concern for me.
Baldy, where are you going to be this weekend? What game you calling?
I'm going to be in Arizona, Kansas City, and the Cardinals.
Oh, my gosh. You get a doozy right out of the gate. Kyler
I get Patrick Mahomes on the field.
Forget Mahomes, Kyler.
Honestly, you could just talk about number 15 every single play. When he's on the bench, you could talk about it. Because he's probably pumping up his offensive line or telling Andy Reid to take that play and shove it. I want to run this. You can't go wrong just talking about Patrick Mahomes every play.
And you get Kyler on the other side. You get Hollywood Brown. You get Terminator, James Conner. What a life for Baldy, man. Look out, Glendale, Arizona. 2 days until the NFL season kicks off. Rams and Bills at SoFi Stadium. We'll all be locked in next Tuesday. Baldy will be breaking down.
I can't wait.
Bears and Niners. We cannot wait, Baldy.
We miss you,
can't
buddy.
wait, man. We miss you. Can't wait for you to come to the Bay Area.
Yep, I'll be out there, guys, for sure enough. And I'll join you guys next Tuesday. Let's talk about Sunday's game.
No doubt. Baldy, take care, my man.
Baldinger.
Take care. Thanks for the breakdown.
The best.